G'day mate, Simon, VA7BIX. Holy smokes, look what we've got behind me. I've got some fractals. I've got some metal tape that's been cut into fractals, but we're going to get to that at the end of the show. And let's get on with the show. We'll start from what the tape looks like when it's not cut into that section. A quick DIY of how to do fractals and how this changes the impedance and SWR. All right guys, let's get on with the show. Guys, so what I've got here, I've cut out exactly 6 feet on each side. So this is the 3-inch tape. I've used 3-inch just because I wanted to make the squares nice and big and obvious. And what we're going to do, we're going to make this into a 3-inch square, and we're going to cut a figure S, which basically will make it look like this. So it's going to be a continuous chain of the quote-unquote Hilberts Curve right through the length of 6 feet for both the radiating element and the ground side. So before we do that, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to hook this up to my mast here that unfortunately had a bit of a drama the other day and snapped on me, but anyway, it still kind of works. But what we're going to do is we're going to hook this binding post up. I've just got a little piece of wire that's basically a foot long, so that's going to essentially add a foot of length of wire. And I've just folded the metal tape on itself there, and I've just done a little clip there, and there's the length. And on the other end, what I'm going to do is I've got a little one of those little paper clips that, yes, it is metallic, but I don't know if it matters, and then just some string. And we're going to set this up as a bit of an inverted V, and we're going to get this, see where it's resonant. So this is exactly 6 feet of 3-inch metal tape, plus we've got about another foot of wire here. So that basically makes it 7 feet per side, if you will. I'm going to hook up the rig expert. Sorry, Ape. I'm sorry it's not a VNA, buddy, a nano VNA. But anyway, so I'm going to hook this up, guys. And before I do the quick reading, I'm just going to show you the antenna one more time. I've just tightened up the stays and have it as a really, really cool, sexy inverted V. So check that out. And it's up about 10 or 12 feet. And guys, if you've got like an umbrella stand at home, these are fantastic. There you go. So there's my soda mast. It's injured, and it's actually snapped in the section right there, so I can't go any higher. And I've just got the 2 bits of tape going off, and I've tied it to the fence. So here we go. Let's have a look at the SWR, and then we're going to get on with the magic of fractals. I'm going to turn on my VNA. You can see it here nice and clearly. All right, 30.5 megahertz. So so it's going to come out looking like this, guys. I'm trying to do a cheats way, but I'm trying to make it as uniform as possible. So I want to thank Wes, Mr. Mudd. I rang him up in a tiz, like, Wes, how do you do that? How do you make it look like a fractal? And because he showed me on the phone, we did a FaceTime the other day, and basically he showed me, he said, you got to cut out an S. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make these into squares, and we're going to start at this end. So what I'm going to do is we're going to assume that that's the start right there, okay? Because we want to preserve that. So now what we've got to do is make an S. So we're going to be using the top and the bottom, okay? So we want to make this as fat as possible. And there's our S. We're going to cut, cut, cut. So there's your letter S, okay? So now we're going to do the same on the other side. So guys, the 3-inch tape is much better, I'd say, for meandering. I think if you go 1-inch tape, you're just going to have too many issues with tearing, and I would go longer than I would wider. See how it's slightly elongated? So that's 3 inches there, and that's more like 4.5 inches. But then it's got way more body. You see what I mean? And this is for testing purposes. But we're probably at about 4 to 5 feet on that, so it's pretty cool. So let's do the other side, and we'll get it up on the air and see what it looks like. What we're going to do is hang this up very carefully without it tearing, and let's see where the SWR is. We knew that it was 1 to 1 at, what was the frequency? 30.5 megahertz. So I'm using that same piece, and now we're going to put it back on the pole here, and we're going to raise it up and see where we're at. So there we go. So now we've gone a full fractal all the way up and down. There's meandering all the way on the 6 feet, and we're up at 10 feet. So it's basically, it's as objective as it can be, because that was what I had up before, and we knew the SWR was at 30.5. All right, guys, the big drum roll. Let's go into the garage and see what the SWR is. I will be surprised, and I'd say probably disappointed, if the SWR is the same. So what I'm going to do here, guys, like, I have no idea what's going to happen, but you guys are actually going to see the result before I do. And I'm going to hold this up on the screen, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to press OK. Here we go. Now, I don't know where that is. 29.510. Let's quickly see where the SWR is. And look at that. There you go, guys. So what are we? 6 or 7 feet of metal tape that I've basically cut into fractals. I've taken it from 30.5 megahertz, and now we're down at 28.49. So let's have a look. So there you go. So basically I've gained, it's very operational. So let's have a look. Let's have a look from the very bottom of the band. Let's just go down to the digital portion of 10 meters, which is here. So the SWR, look at that, 1.5. Now let's go, keep going. I'm holding transmit. Let's go all the way up. Look at that, guys. Holy smokes. Look at that. Woo! That is absolutely unbelievable. We are resonant by, almost 2 megahertz. So let's see if we can hear any FM while we're here. There we go. Can you believe that? With metal tape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run 100 watts through this. Check, 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 check. This is 100 watts, 100 watts, 100 watts. This is Victor Alpha 7, Bravo, India X-ray. No problem. So if I go up here to the top end, this is Victor Alpha 7, Bravo, India X-ray, running 100 watts. No problem at all. This is the cool thing about this. Look how easy that was. So now I've got it in the boomerang configuration, because there's no weight up the mast. Feed point right there is in the middle, so it's basically like a aggressive takeoff angle L. And I call that the boomerang, which was the name that Mr. Mike, Burnaby Radio, referred to it as. So there you go. So there's the boomerang, and it's actually more resonant, slightly more resonant on 10 meters. But the cool thing is, when you build this, it takes nothing to all of a sudden change the configuration from a inverted V, a sloper, And now we have a boomerang. All right, guys, let's see what the SWR is with the boomerang configuration. That is really amazing. But look at that right across the band, hey, as we just saw. That is pretty cool. So guys, would I recommend cutting fractals into your metal tape? Absolutely. I think it'd be better if you had some sort of backing, because I think the likelihood, the way I've got it set up, is over time it's just going to tear. But this was strictly a test, and it's working great. And I think, mate, you're going to be on my video. I'm still filming about doing the fractal. What do you have to say about it, Wes? Hang on, I'm going to put you on speaker. Say again, Wes?
Yes, I think the fractals are going to rock, man. I think it's a great idea. We're going to get a little more surface area, or less surface area for more bang, right?
Well, you know what's interesting, Wes? I'm just telling the guys on this video, I was resonant on a 6 feet piece of wire with a, about a 10 to 12 inch feed point. I was resonant at 30.5 megahertz. And I did the fractals, and it brought it down to basically resonant right across the 10-meter band.
Nice. Well, so it's going to work. It's right where you want it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely want to do it on a backing, because if you do it freestanding or hanging like I've got out here, eventually it will tear. So you need some sort of backing on it.
Yeah, would a tarp work good for a backing?
I don't know, mate. What do you reckon? I think a tarp would be great.
It is. Well, right on. Well, thank you for letting me give you a call. I'll get you back to your video, and I'm excited to see it, my friend. Thank you.
All right, guys. So there we go. So that's Wes. Wes and I have been chatting about this together. And thanks, Wes, for the little S way to cut out the tape. That certainly makes a difference. So, guys, yes, huge considerations. It works great. I've just gained 1 to 1.5 megahertz at least. Oh, closer to 2, because I heard stations and I was about 1.4, 1.5 at 28.5, so 2 megahertz difference from where it was resonant with the when it wasn't cut. So that's the first consideration, and the other big one, as I just mentioned from Wes, is the fact that the tape is only 3 inches wide. So imagine when you've got a tarp that's 5 or 6 feet wide. So fractals are the way to go. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. This is absolutely fantastic. And please, if you like my content and crazy ham jazz, hit the like and subscribe button. It really means the world to me. And you guys are fantastic. I really appreciate all your support. And this is a lot of fun. So here's to building antennas. And hopefully it can inspire you to get out there and have a crack at something. Anything that's metal, give it a go. Put some RF through it and see if it works. All right, guys, take care. Cheers and beers, and 7-3.